development with Remax Creative Realty. And today we're here with Alison Sheshull. She is the Director of Business Development at Blugrass Land Title. Today we're going to talk about wire fraud and how to prevent it, what to look for, and what you should do next if something should occur. Okay? So we're going to start. Allie, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do over at Blugrass Land Title.
Absolutely. So Blugrass Land Title is a full-service cradle-to-grave title company. We stay in our lane. We only practice real estate law, and we do cover the states. We're currently only licensed in Kentucky. We have 4 locations across the state. Everything that we do is attorney-backed. And unfortunately, we find ourselves talking about wire fraud a lot and more frequently here in the market.
Way too often.
Way too often.
Like.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about who would be most likely to fall victim to wire fraud.
So, just looking from the whole transaction from the outside in, anytime there's the opportunity for money movement at all, whether you have a buyer that's wiring funds for closing, even internally for us when we're wiring a payoff for an existing mortgage, for example, anytime there's money movement is going to happen, you run a risk of wire fraud.
Okay, so it can happen both with the buyer on their side or unfortunately on your side as well.
Yes.
So what is usually the weakest link when we find that they can, hack an email or somehow access that information? Where do you see that happen the most often?
So fortunately for us, this is very prevalent in the title industry. Unfortunately, like I said before, we're talking about it more and more often. We train day in and day out, and we get new protocol from Kentucky Land Title Association as well as our underwriters on how we need to prevent this internally. So it's always top of mind for us. Unfortunately, it now needs to be top of mind for everyone involved in the transaction.
Okay.
I can't say exclusively, but for the majority of the issues or the real situations that we've seen here locally in the Lexington market in central Kentucky, it's typically the realtor's email that has been compromised, and that's where the whole penetration into the situation happens.
And that's something that we had discussed previously, privately, that kind of caught my attention. And I thought, wow, this is something that as realtors and in the real estate industry that I don't really think we knew that. I don't think we realized how important our role was in it, and that our emails are typically the one that's kind of vulnerable. Since we've learned that realtors' emails are often vulnerable and sometimes the weak link there, what is there that we can do to better protect ourselves, better prepare our clients, protect you all, and try to prevent this from happening?
Okay, so I think there are multiple different approaches here. First of all, protect yourself. So with the email itself, you really want to make sure that you're not using the same password across the board for everything that you have passwords for. Do simple things like don't store your password in your phone. When your computer says it's time to change your password, listen and change your password.
Realtors listen?
I'm the worst myself, so I'm completely guilty of that. Luckily, they put some parameters on me where they don't give me an option whether I change it or not. But those little things can go a long way in making a difference. Outside of that, it's education. It's first of all acknowledging that there's an issue, that it is a real risk, and that your people need to be aware, okay? So letting them know upfront, early in the transaction, that these types of things exist. We have a lot of collateral, for example, that you can send out to them.
Okay.
Some scripts I can run through with you on how to make them aware of it without scaring them.
Okay.
But the main thing is education, so let them know that it exists. As far as protecting yourself, the number one rule I would give to all agents, never forward wiring instructions for a title company, ever.
Okay, let's repeat that then. For all realtors, never forward wiring instructions. So if we were to get a wiring instruction from you, then the number one rule is to not forward that to our client.
Yes.
And allow you all to communicate together.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what we're here for. I know a lot of times you're so involved in the transaction, and let's be honest, this is a really fast-paced industry that we work in. Things need to go quickly. I would, whether it's Blugrass Land Title or another attorney's office here, I think they would all give you the same advice. Have a trusted person there. Save their direct line in your phone. Give that to your buyer and tell them to call directly and confirm those wiring instructions.
Okay. I think that's great advice for us, because if we remove ourselves from that correspondence, then of course we protect ourselves, and that's something that we can relay to our clients. If you receive it from me, it's probably not me,
right?
Because you should be receiving it from this third party. And we spoke about education for our clients. What are some of the red flags that they can look for, and that we can tell them to watch for?
Absolutely. So some of the biggest ones that we see, a change in wiring instructions. Never happens.
Okay.
There's really never a need for wiring instructions to be given, approved, and then changed. So if there's ever a change in wiring instructions, always place a phone call and find out what's going on there. Urgency. If you get an email saying that if this happens right now, you're going to get a discount. Too good to be true. If it sounds too good to be true,
It probably is.
you got it. If it sounds fishy or looks fishy, it probably is. There are a number of things that I could go into on particular emails where you can hover over the email to determine it. Bottom line, slow down, trust your gut. If anyone's asking for anything urgently, they know you're in a pinch, they know that you're stressed out, they know that you're trying to buy a house, you're trying to get utilities turned on, and all of these moving parts. Slow down, call someone that you trust. Don't follow the instructions or contact information in an email signature. So for example, if you get a phishing email and it has all the contact information for Alison Sheshull at Blugrass Land Title, gives you all the contact information, that can be switched out, and we've seen that changed a lot.
On your signature. Okay.
So it's really important to, whether you want to Google, again, go back to your contacts on your phone, call anyone at that particular company that you know and confirm those instructions that way.
So we would say the top three then we've taken from this today is that if the agent should not be sending the wiring instructions and forwarding those. Our clients should know that if they've been told wiring instructions would be done one way, but the email says something different, that's a red flag.
Absolutely.
And that if there's any sense of urgency and the timeline doesn't seem right, that those are like the three top things then we should take away from that.
Absolutely.
Okay, that sounds great. So, want to see, I know you have information on your website. So, we know that you all recommend that they can call you directly if they get an email and it doesn't seem legit, or even if it does seem legit, they can still call you. Where else can they get more information though? If they had more questions, or if I know you all provide some information. So tell us a little bit about your website and what you have on there.
So on our website, there are tons of links. You can get all kinds of information about the warning signs. These approaches evolve every single day. So as soon as we think we've nipped something in the bud and it's fail-proof, there's no way around it, there's some new complex way that they're performing. So there's no, easy black and white thing that we can say. Just trust your gut. That's the main thing. If something seems off, call your agent, call the lender, call the title company, call all three of us. It's really important to make sure that you know exactly where that money's going, because once it gets into the wrong hands, it's really hard to recover.
Well, now that you've mentioned that, that'll bring me to my next question. What if we suspect this has happened, or unfortunately, if it actually really did happen? What do we do next?
Yes, so unfortunately it has happened in our market. It's all about timeliness at this point. If you suspect something has happened, the best chances of you recouping any or all of the money that you've lost, it's all about timeliness. You need to alert agent, lender, whether that's receiving bank, sending bank, all parties involved immediately. Title company, number one, alert them right away. We basically have a protocol that we follow. In the event that this happens internally, we do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We notify the FBI. We notify local authority as well. The quicker we can act, and it comes down literally to minutes, the more money we can recoup, or the chances of you getting any money back. That's what needs to happen.
As always, Allie, we appreciate you coming over. I love talking to you. You're fun to chat with. Maybe next time it'll be about something a little bit more pleasant.
So, I hate to deliver bad news all the time, but thanks for
I
having me.
know, but you do deliver a lot of great news with
Gracefully,
that's right.
Hopefully it's helpful.
All right, as always, we appreciate you taking time to find out how you can be a better real estate agent, how you can help prepare your clients and prepare them for some of the bad things that happen in our industry, and better educate them and be prepared to watch for things like wire fraud. If you ever have any questions, feel free to contact me directly or give Allie a call or an email over at Blugrass Land Title. If you haven't had the pleasure of doing business with them, I hope you see them at a closing table very soon. Thanks.